Learning more tonight about two FBI workers killed last night in a boating accident on the Ohio River. Bryce Eastlick of Lebanon and John Stack of Loveland died when their boat hit a barge near downtown, but there are still a lot of questions. We've got team coverage for you on this story. The I-Team's Brendan Keefe is looking into how dangerous that part of the river is, but we start with Jason Law, who is at the river's edge. He talked with Eastlick's family about Bryce's final moments. Jason.
That's right. I talked to the parents of both of these young men. Chuck Eastlick told me that he believes poor visibility along the river last night contributed to his son Bryce inadvertently driving into the back of a barge Thursday evening.
Just after 1 o'clock Thursday afternoon, Bryce Eastlick wrote this on his Facebook page. Last call out. Putting the boat in the river for Dirks Bentley tonight at Riverbend. Still room left on the boat. Get a hold of me. Eastlick had just bought the boat 2 months earlier. His father, Chuck, says he helped his son pick it out.
Yeah, it's just like I don't want to wake up. It just can't be real.
Investigators say Bryce Eastlick and his friend from the FBI, John Stack, crashed into a barge and were killed. When we spoke to Bryce's father, John Stack's black BMW was still parked in Bryce's driveway, right where he left it the day before. Chuck says Bryce and his wife Anna had only been married for 14 months.
He was a Christian. We're Christians. He's fine now, and I'm sure he'll tell us not to. I'm sorry. Not to worry about it. And that's the biggest thing that's getting us through. We know that he's okay, and we'll see him someday. And, he was my buddy.
The Eastlick family is disputing claims that alcohol was a contributing factor in the accident last night. The Campbell County coroner says that the tests that they have completed in the autopsies should come back in a few days and reveal more information. Now, this can be a very dangerous stretch of river here behind me on the Ohio River. And my colleague, the I-Team Chief Investigator Brendan Keefe, has been looking into this, and he has more now in our continuing coverage. Brendan?
Jason Law, thanks. It's one of the busiest spots on the Ohio River, but before last night, actually, deaths on this part of the river were actually down. In fact, there were no deaths last year, which was essentially cut that number right down from the previous years. This is a really challenging part of the river near downtown, particularly for barge traffic, because there's so many pleasure boats that congregate around here and small fishing boats, and barges simply can't avoid that. Add that to that, this stretch in front of downtown is also one of the narrowest parts of the river. The channel for barge traffic is further narrowed by those bridge piers, and there are also two hairpin turns that barges have to navigate right here, that the captains have to navigate. Now, last night's fatal collision happened in near total darkness, and the city lights can actually make things worse because it's harder to see a black coal barge. This is actually a shot from last night of that barge. You see the tug and the tow here, but do you see that barge? You don't. There's marker lights way up here, but imagine that now silhouetted by the city lights. Add to that, of course, the size of these ships, these coal barges. It's like a freight train. It can take quite a distance to stop in an emergency, and they don't exactly turn on a dime.